Hi everyone, welcome to today's workshop, Digital Skills for Everyday Tasks. In today's workshop, we'll examine how Google applications can help you manage your professional and everyday lives, no matter where you are. I'm Elizabeth Daniels, one of the librarians with the Lexington Public Library. Thank you for spending some time with us today. Let's start with working remotely. For most people, this means working from home. Let's start with some tips that can make this easier. So first, keep your routine. If you normally wake up, work out, take a shower before work, keep doing that. Maintain regular hours, set a schedule, and try to keep it. Keeping your routine will help with a sense of normalcy. Create a dedicated workspace. Find a spot to go to work in your home at the same place every day. And if you don't have the luxury of a dedicated office at home, at least go to the same place at the same table every day, even if you have to clean it up at dinner time, instead of bringing your laptop to the couch one day, recliner the next, and so on. Have lunch and breaks. Make sure you add those to your schedule. It's too easy to get into the habit of eating at your desk when you're at home. And also, don't sit in front of your computer for 8 hours solid. Every hour or so, stand up, take a break, walk around, give your body and your eyes a break. Have the tools that you need to be productive. And without the supplies of the office, you may not realize that you need something until a few days into working remotely. Think about the supplies you use in a normal workday, make a list, and make sure you have them as part of your home office. Create a daily to-do list. At the end of your workday, write your to-do list for the next day. And that will help keep you from popping back to your computer to do one more thing that ends up taking another hour. Give your coworkers a bit of grace. If they're working from home too, there may be background noise, dogs barking, interruptions from kids or family members. So just roll with it. And if those distractions happen to you, don't worry or stress too much about it. And most important, when your workday is done, close up shop. Remember, at the end of the day, if you're not at work, don't work. Today, we'll focus on 3 digital skills that can make your everyday work life easier, both while you're working remotely and in the traditional office. So when you're trying to stay productive at home, it can be even more important to keep track of your to-do list. Find ways to collaborate with your team and keep your organization and business partners updated about the progress you're making. So we'll demonstrate several digital skills that can help with these work needs. Our example is planning a company summit, virtual summit. But these skills and applications can apply to a variety of workplace situations. And we'll build 3 example projects that will demonstrate how to enhance your productivity and make progress on your work. These projects can help you boost your productivity right away. And if you're a job seeker, the digital skills we highlight can prepare you to jump into a new kind of work. So let's get started. So in today's lesson, we'll get you signed into your Google account and access Google Drive. Google Drive is a free cloud-based tool that allows you to store folders and files. We'll show you how to open some very useful Google applications. And for this lesson, we'll focus on planning and managing your work using Google Sheets, which is like Microsoft Excel, Google Docs, which is like Microsoft Office, and Google Slides, which is like Microsoft PowerPoint. The skills we cover today can apply to a variety of workplace situations. And to complete the lesson, we'll take you through an example of planning a virtual event step by step and give you some hints and tips that will make your life easier. So in the first half of the class, we'll focus on accessing Google Drive and making a to-do list in Google Sheets. And in the second half, we'll dive into Google Docs and building a presentation in Google Slides. And if you're already joining us, you may have an event that you're planning right now. Maybe you'll be hosting a digital conference, or maybe you're planning a celebration event. So today we'll practice these tools in the context of planning an event. But you can apply these digital skills to many situations in your workplace or personal life. For example, you can use a sheet to create a budget or a job search plan. You can use a Google document to create a resume or cover letter, design a flyer, or brainstorm for a big project. The first step is to access these applications. So let's take this opportunity to sign into your Google account. And this process just makes sure that only you can access your Google account. So open your internet browser, such as Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, and go to google.com. If you're not already signed in, click Sign In and enter your username, and then click Next. Click to show the password screen, and then enter your password and click Next again to sign in. When you've signed into your Google account, you'll have access to lots of Google apps that you can use for work and home. And if you don't yet have a Google account, you can set one up for free. You can choose to get a new Gmail email address, or you can use another email address that you already have. So you can visit accounts.google.com/signup. And if your business or employer uses Google Workspace, you may have an email address that doesn't look like a Gmail address, but it is still a Google account. So if you aren't sure if your work email is a Google account, you can just check in with your team. Let's talk about what you can do with your Google account. So when you're signed in, you can access all the apps you'll learn about today. You only have to sign in once to be able to access Google Sheets, Docs, Slides, Photos, Forms, Gmail, Maps, and lots of other applications. After you've signed into your Google account, you can use the Google Apps menu to move between applications. At the top right, select the Google Apps icon, which is circled here. From here, you can access all the Google apps that come with your account. You can get to Gmail, Sheets, and Slides here. Keep in mind your most recently used apps will appear first. You can also access your Google Drive. So let's take a quick look at this. Google Drive allows you to store, access, and share files like documents, spreadsheets, presentations, forms, and photos in one place. So instead of being stored on your computer, Google Drive allows you to save your files in the cloud. And the cloud is a safe and private space on the internet where you can store your documents and files. So after you save something on Google Drive, you can access it from any computer, smartphone, or tablet with internet access, including the library. Files stored on Google Drive won't get lost even if your computer crashes. And the files you create with Google Apps are automatically saved in Google Drive, so you don't even have to remember to click Save. If you've never created anything with Google Apps before, your Google Drive will be empty. And once you start creating files in Google Apps, you'll see them stored here. So if you have a computer, tablet, or smartphone that you're working on now, you can pause here to give this a try before continuing. So next, let's dive into our example. The first project we'll create today is a to-do list sheet to track tasks for a big virtual event. Feel free to work along with me or just watch as I show ways you can use Google Sheets to organize an event. The first step in planning or organizing anything is to build a list of everything that needs to get done, whether by you or someone else. While you can create a new blank sheet for this work, Google Drive offers a library of great time-saving templates. A template provides basic information and formatting, keeps you from having to start from scratch every time you create a sheet or other project. And Google Sheets has a template that will fit this example nicely, and it's actually called To-Do List. So to work on this list, select New to open the menu. Then select the arrow next to Google Sheets and from a template. This opens a template gallery with lots of templates for work and home. Open a to-do list. Click on the title to give your sheet a new name, like Yard Sale To-Do List. or a similar name that describes the event or project that you're planning. And this becomes the file name. And this is the way you'll find the file on your Google Drive. And notice that as soon as you open this sheet template, it is saved automatically on your Google Drive, and you don't have to click Save. Notice that this template may look a little different from a blank spreadsheet, but it still has all the same elements. The image on the slideshow shows a to-do list with a column for tasks. 3 tasks are listed. Sheets contain many rectangles, and these are called cells. And cells are organized into rows across and columns down. Every cell has a name based on its column and row. For example, this cell is called A1 because it is in column A, row 1. And you can navigate the sheet by clicking in different cells, or you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move around the grid. You can add text, formatting, formulas, and functions such as totaling values to cells. And because you're using a template specifically designed for a to-do list, there's already some formatting here. There are columns for a check mark to indicate if a task is complete, and a date deadline for the task, and also a space for description of the task itself. To use the template, replace the example tasks with things you need to do for your event, project, or workday. Feel free to copy the process you see on the screen. Notice that when you click into a sheet cell and start typing, you'll replace the text that's already there. And so when you're ready, you can type 2 or 3 tasks that are related to an event you might be planning. Then you can add a few dates, and these can be for practice, or if you have actual work deadlines, you can include those here. So now let's say you want to collaborate with several people and divide up the responsibilities to get your event going. You can add another column titled Owner and write a name in each row for each task. So to do this, click column C as shown here, then open the Insert menu. Click Columns and one column right. Your new column D will appear. Now click inside cell D1 and type a title to give the column a heading like Owner. Add a few names in the rows below. Adding a column for task owners turns this into a team to-do list. So now let's talk about changing the way your sheet looks by changing the colors, fonts, and other style formatting of your sheet. You can change it to reflect your own style or something about the event. For example, if it's a party for your favorite sports team, you can change this green to your team colors. Or if it's for work, you can change it to your brand colors. So to change the colors in a sheet, click on a cell or group of cells and then click the Fill Color icon. A drop-down list will open. Now choose a color from the drop-down list. Additionally, you can change the font size, style, or color by selecting a cell or group of cells and then selecting New Font Settings. Okay, so now you have a sheet with some tasks and owners. And maybe you've used some formatting to make your to-do list easier to read. Let's think again about how you can apply this application to everyday tasks. From carpooling schedules to family appointments, simple shopping lists, Google Sheets can be used for anything you need to organize. And you can also find other templates in the template gallery to help you start pretty much any type of project you need. Now your sheet is automatically saved on your Google Drive, which should still be open in another tab on your browser. Click that browser tab icon to access the application. And here it is. So here's another good place to pause to give this process a try before continuing. Now, remember the list of owners you created in your to-do list? Imagine that you're going to ask all of those people to attend a virtual meeting to help you plan the event. So one way to have a useful and productive meeting is to keep notes during your discussion. And using Google Docs, you can create and share meeting notes and even collaborate in the same document from anywhere at the same time. Just like we did with the to-do list in Sheets, we're going to start off with a template to help with some of the overall design and basic elements. So select New, then Docs, then From a Template. This opens the Google Docs template gallery. Just as you saw with Sheets, there are lots of document templates from which to choose. Open the meeting notes template you want to use. Once again, your template opens in a new tab and automatically saves to your Google Drive. All the templates for this style of document have the same basic information: meeting date, list of attendees, agenda, notes, action items, and items for the next meeting. So you can click the placeholder text under Last Meeting Follow-up and type something there, like a reminder about a task that's in progress. And also similar to the formatting you did in Google Sheets, you can format this document however you want. You can select the text and you can change the font size, style, or colors. Just choose your options from the menu. Additionally, you can add comments to the document to make notes about things without ever changing the text. For example, you might want to quickly add a comment about something to add to the meeting agenda, or set a reminder to ask your coworker a question during the meeting. So to leave a comment, select text in the document. You can select one word, a sentence, or even just a character. Then just click the plus button on the side of the page. Or you can open the Insert menu and choose Comment. In the box that appears, type the comment. Here's a great trick that makes collaboration much easier. If you add a comment for someone else, type the plus sign and then their email address. And Google Docs will send an email to that person with your comment and a link to the document. So if I want my coworker to fill in the agenda before the meeting, I can add a comment, add a plus sign and their email address. And if you want, you can assign the comment to your teammate so that they see it as an action item. And when you assign a comment to a person, they will be responsible for resolving it. Once you decide whether or not to assign the comment, you can select Comment and add it to the document. Let's talk about different ways to share access to a digital file in Google Workspace. One of the most useful features of Google Docs and many of Google's other apps is the ability to collaborate in the same document at the same time. In the past, sharing documents meant having to save a version and emailing it to someone on your team. Then they had to download it, make changes to it, save it with a different file name, and send it back to you. Then you had to download it again, resave it, make your changes, send it back, and so on. That's a lot of steps. And not only is this an inefficient way to get things done, it's also a process that increases the chances that at some point, somebody will begin making changes to the wrong version of the file. With Google Docs, you can collaborate on projects with anyone, anywhere, at the same time, just by making your changes. And Google Docs will save the changes that you all make. And because there's only one version, you never have to need to worry about working on the wrong document. You can choose which documents you share with which people, and you can control how much access they have. By controlling the sharing settings, you can give different members of your team access to the documents they need. So if you add someone to a comment, you'll be prompted to give them access to the document if they don't have it yet. Another way to grant access is to share the document with someone directly. So to do this, select Share in the upper right corner. Type that person's email in the box. Next, you can choose what the person can do with your project. Can Edit allows the person to edit the document directly. And so if someone is adding or changing information on the meeting agenda, they'll need edit access. Can comment allows the person to add comments to the document but not change anything. And can view allows the person to see the document but not make any alterations at all. And so this could be for a person who isn't involved in planning the meeting, but you want to keep it, that person informed as to what's happening. And notice the box at the bottom labeled Notify People. When you share a document, sheet, or presentation with someone, they'll receive an email about it. And next, you can add a note about the document and then click Send. And the next time the person checks their Gmail, they'll have an email from Google Docs that includes your note and links to access the document. So you can better understand how this works. The image on the right shows a Share dialog box that contains a user's option for collaborating in the digital document. One text box displays a colleague's email address. One shows a field for adding a note. A drop-down menu shows Can Edit, Can Comment, and Can View to demonstrate different levels of access. Here's the cool part. When you store files in your drive, you can give different access to different files to different people. So maybe you want everyone who's helping you with planning to see the meeting agenda. So that's the part I'm showing you on the left side of your screen. But maybe you also have a budget file and you only want one other person to have access to that. And that's the path on the right side of the screen. More good news is you can give different people different levels of access. So people can either have access to edit a file, comment on the file without editing, or just view it without the ability to comment or make changes. You can also give people access to a complete folder and store a group of files in that folder. In that situation, though, everyone who has access to the folder will also have access to the files within the folder. Now, imagine that you've planned your virtual event using a to-do list and collaborated with your team to make an agenda for the planning meeting. So next, you might need a way of communicating effectively with a large group of people. So, for example, if you're planning a big summit for your entire organization, you might want to give everyone an update on your progress. Or if you're pitching new business to a possible investor, you might want to plan out what to say during your presentation. For these situations and plenty of others in the workplace, you can build a presentation in Google Slides. So even if your event is just a small team meeting, using a slide deck or slideshow can keep everyone on track, on pace, and engaged. Now let's take a look at how to use a presentation to share your progress or ideas at work. You can start from a blank slide deck, or, as you can guess, there are templates in Google Slides you can use for common purposes. As with our other projects, we're going to start off with a template to help with some of the overall design and basic elements. So from your Google Drive, you can select New, Google Slides, and From a Template. This opens the Google Slides template gallery. You can find options for all kinds of presentations you might want to give, like presenting your research at a conference, delivering a sales pitch, or leading a workshop. Open the template you want to use. We'll start with a status report template and build an example project for updating an organization on all the work you've gotten done from home. So once again, your template opens in a new tab and automatically saves to your Google Drive. As you can see, this template has built-in categories designed to update a stakeholder on deadlines, road bumps, and your team's accomplishments. Different templates include different categories, slide layouts, colors, and design. Let's start customizing your slide by creating a title slide. You can edit the text on the slide to explain the purpose of the presentation. You can also move text boxes or shapes. So as you practice, click the placeholder text and type something, like a title for a current project. Every template includes pre-designed layouts. And layouts include pre-arranged text boxes and formatting, and slides make suggestions for how to use each layout. You can select different layouts to present different information, like a main point, important data, or a caption. So add a new slide. Select a new layout that helps you present the information you need to share. And so for this example, we'll choose the big number layout. As you build your presentation, you may want to include non-photo visual images. Adding illustrations and videos keeps the presentation interesting and helps to grab your audience's attention. You might use photos to introduce your team to the audience, for example. Or you can link a chart or a graph from Google Sheets to show your progress or explain a budget. To add these elements, access the Insert menu. Choose the kind of visual element you want to include. Add your visual, like a photo or video, directly from your Google Drive, or you can search the web to find an image that suits your presentation. Just make sure you have the right to use the image. When you search for an image directly from the Slides application, the images returned in your search will automatically be free for use. At this point, you've built a slide deck to support your presentation. You've selected layouts, customized text, and added charts, images, or other visuals to enhance it. Now share the presentation. You might want to share the slide deck with your team to get their input. Or you can even make it available to everyone who will be in the audience. You can even embed the presentation on your webpage. So to access these settings, use the Share icon, just like you did from Google Docs or Sheets. Type a colleague's email address and decide what access to give, or get the sharing link and add it to other files or documents. So now let's take a look at what we've learned before we go. I hope you're feeling more comfortable exploring your Google Drive and the apps available. In this short period of time, we examined opening your Google Drive, creating a to-do list sheet from a template, adding tasks, dates, and owners to the sheet, adding formatting to your sheet. We also opened a Google Docs template for a meeting agenda and notes, and you saw how to change the placeholder text in the template, customize the colors and formatting, add comments, and sharing your documents. And finally, we built a status update presentation using Google Slides. You saw how a template can make your slide deck look polished and professional, and we looked at how to customize layouts for your unique presentation. Google Docs and Google Sheets can get you started with useful projects in your professional or personal life. For example, you can build resumes using a template in Google Docs, or you might design a budget in Sheets. Google also offers several other apps you might want to explore. So after the workshop, check out Forms to create surveys to collect feedback from others, Calendar to create appointments and book meetings, Google Meet to video conference and meet with people remotely, or Sites to create your own website for a business or to share your work portfolio. Remember, you can access these and more apps by going to google.com and clicking on the apps icon on the top right. That's the box with the 9 dots. So we've barely scratched the surface with all the apps and features in your Google account. So I hope you're thinking about ways you can use these for work and personal life. So take a moment and think about all the topics we covered today. Make note of one thing that you want to do next to grow your digital skills. If you enjoy these video lessons, you can subscribe to our Lexington Public Library or the Grow with Google YouTube channels. And if you're looking to start a new career and land a competitively paid job or build skills to grow your career, check out Google Career Certificates that can give you a path to in-demand jobs with top employers that are currently hiring. You can earn a certificate and prepare for the new career in a high-growth field, those listed here, in under 6 months, even if you don't have relevant experience. You can learn at your own pace and complete the online program on your own terms. And you can get started now at grow.google/certificates. Grow with Google is an initiative to help people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. And you can check out tools here for job seekers, teachers, small business owners, startups, and developers. And here are all the resources we mentioned in today's presentation. You can check out these websites for more in-depth information on what I covered today. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you find this content helpful, please check out our services and events at our website at lexpublib.org. Thanks for joining me.